best presidential library in the country, completed in 1979. It became the model that all subsequent presidential libraries aspired to. And today, Donald Trump closed the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library. Presidential libraries are quasi-government operations that fall under the jurisdiction of the National Archives. The John F. Kennedy Library has federal employees. John F. Kennedy Library Foundation put out a statement today saying that the sudden closing of the library today was forced, quote, by the sudden dismissal of federal employees. Elon Musk and Donald Trump were not asked about that on Fox Tonight. Today, Elon Musk and Donald Trump decided to close the presidential library of the assassinated President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, who was a Democrat. The Nixon Library was open all day today in Yorba Linda, California. Richard Nixon is the only president who was forced to resign the presidency when he was facing accusations of criminal misconduct in the Oval Office, crimes committed in the Oval Office that would have gotten him impeached and removed from office and possibly prosecuted and convicted of federal crimes. A month after the criminally corrupt Richard Nixon resigned the presidency, his vice president, who became president, Republican Gerald Ford, pardoned Richard Nixon. And today, the only criminally pardoned president of the United States continued to be memorialized all day by his presidential library, which Donald Trump did not close down. The Reagan Library in California also stayed open today. Ronald Reagan was a two-term Republican president. And so that is the country you live in tonight. It is a country you have never lived in before. It was unthinkable until the most uncouth president in history took office, Donald Trump, a man consumed by petty and permanent jealousies. Another day, another principled resignation letter in Donald Trump's Department of Justice, this time written by a career federal prosecutor in Washington, who was ordered to cross a line that she refused to cross. The chief of the criminal division of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., Denise Chung, resigned today after refusing to lie about an investigation and put that lie in writing so that the Trump Justice Department could illegally, in her view, seize banking records. Denise Chung is a 1995 graduate of Harvard Law School. She has spent the last 24 years as a prosecutor in the Justice Department, beginning her service under the Republican President George W. Bush and continuing under every president until today. Like the principled resignation letter written last week by the acting U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, Danielle Sassoon, today's resignation letter specifies exactly how far the Trump team in the Justice Department tried to push Denise Chung. In her letter, she wrote, "When I explained that the quantum of evidence did not support that action, you stated that you believed that there was sufficient evidence. You also accused me of wasting 5 hours of the day doing nothing except trying to get what the FBI and I wanted, but not what you wanted. As I shared with you at this juncture, based upon the evidence I have reviewed, I still do not believe that there is sufficient evidence to issue the letter you described, including sufficient evidence to tell the bank that there is probable cause to seize the particular accounts identified. Because I believed that I lacked the legal authority to issue such a letter, I told you that I would not do so. You then asked for my resignation. And this brings the total number of principled resignations just in the last week in the Trump Justice Department alone to 8. Also today, federal judge Tanya Chutkan considered new claims by the Trump administration that Elon Musk is not the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, as Donald Trump has repeatedly said that he is, in considering motions in a lawsuit against Elon Musk and the Trump administration to prevent them from arbitrarily shutting off funding and shutting down agencies created by Congress. Judge Tanya Chutkan said the case has strong merits, adding, plaintiffs legitimately call into question what appears to be the unchecked authority of an unelected individual and an entity that was not created by Congress and over which it has no oversight. The judge considered an affidavit presented under oath by the Trump administration claiming that Elon Musk has no role at all in the so-called Department of Government Efficiency. Judge Chutkan said, referring to that affidavit, quote, defense counsel is reminded of their duty to make truthful representations to the court. That is something judges say only when they think the lawyers are not being truthful. Judge Chutkan refused to grant the plaintiff's emergency injunction, shutting down the activities of the so-called Department of Government Efficiency at this particular stage of the case. The case remains open for the plaintiffs to provide sufficient evidence to the judge to merit that injunction that they are seeking.